Get your amazing Yamaguchi Revoltechs at Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description down below. Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Kaiju, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hello there, collectors. We are Steven, and today we are taking a look at the amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech, the figure complex Venom. Lots of words there in the title, but still, we believe that this figure just might tickle your fancy for today's theatrical release of the movie Venom. So the movie might not necessarily be the greatest, but this figure here just might be. It is large and in charge with some, well, could it be great paint application? Could it be some awesome articulation? Maybe the accessories are absolutely wonderful. We don't know for sure, so let's find out. Let's take a look to see whether or not Venom is worth bonding to your collection.
Okay, now that that's taken care of, Venom here actually looks really, really cool. And taking a look at it from far away, it kind of looks like there's a very simple design going on here. We have a nice purple coloration, albeit dark, for, well, pretty much all of Venom, except for the spider detailing on his chest and his stomach, and continuing on the back as well. Or is it really spider detailing if you're, well, Venom? You're a symbiote? Yeah. Well, we'll get into debate of that. But when you get up close and personal on Venom, you do notice a couple of small things here and there that aren't necessarily great, like maybe some of the teeth look a little sloppy to you, maybe some of the legs for the spider aren't necessarily perfect, but if that's going to upset you, you have more important things to worry about than an action figure. What's really cool about Venom is that looking at it up close, not only is Venom mostly just cast in a nice, dark, deep purple plastic, but they used metallic paints that actually have a little bit of glitter in them to really accent Venom's sculpt to make him look very sludgy, very toxic-like, almost like he's gooey, but it's also used to really reflect light. Venom's paint application on this plastic is great, and it really adds depth to the overall character. Essentially, Kyoto here did a bang-up job making this character come to life, and they threw in some fantastic attention to detail with a whole bunch of globs coming off of Venom, specifically up by his shoulders. We have a ton of veins here and there, and for design, I don't really know exactly which incarnation of Venom this is going to be, since I don't think we ever got an official statement. To be honest with you, I think he kind of looks like a roided out Ultimate Venom, and that's why I got him. So we'll go with that. Whatever version you want him to be, that's what he is for you. Overall, Venom looks killer. As he should. Articulation time, and I do have to say that the engineering for Venom is pretty neat. I do think that we are able to get a lot of cool poses out of Venom, but there is an issue with Venom in that, well, they were really, really experimental with him, and sometimes that can backfire. Yeah. So real quick, we'll take a look at it more, but there's a Revoltech joint for Venom's tongue, so this way you can twist and turn it from side to side. So yes, he does have a tongue. It's technically an accessory, I guess, but yeah. So I want to pop that out for a second because we're going to take a look at the head construction for Venom, which is weird to say the least. So, well, we got to take this off, which is going to be real easy to do. But the way that everything works, hopefully it's going to play nice with me now. So yeah, we have the headless Venom, but we do have the jaw, which is on a hinge. Then we have the upper part where Venom's noggin would be, like where the brain would be, and that is on a swivel, so a Revoltech joint, where it meets in here where it would click, 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 up and down, up and down. Then we do have the other portion of that peg, so the swivel, that plugs in to this part here. So effectively, the head right here plugs straight in to the sculpt part. So that's pretty neat. This sculpt part, though, it's got some limited movement. It's a Revoltech joint, so we do have that hinge movement up and down. That is really easy to fall off. So yeah, so we can turn left, right, circle it around. Unfortunately, it's really difficult to get Venom to look left and right, so you just want to be careful with that. that you're not forcing anything and you're not breaking anything. You really have to get creative with like turning Venom's head sort of like that and twisting his body. So, you know, keep that in mind. Now that we have that out of the way, let's move over to the shoulders, which are kind of weird because, well, if you're looking at anatomy, his shoulders are like really super high up. So like bringing Goku over here for a second, it would be like if Goku's shoulders, like the joint were to actually start right up here, basically where his clavicles are at. That's collarbones, kid. But it kind of works for Venom here because they're able to do a whole lot more here. So the way that it works to begin with is that we do have 2 swivels here for his shoulders. So this way we can really drop them down. So this way his shoulders are at his nipples. And then we can just bring them all the way back up. So this way his shoulders are naturally sitting above his head. So yeah, that's pretty natural. So that does aid in movement, articulation, and posing. And then we do have Revoltech joints at the shoulders, so this way we can swivel them around wherever we would need to, right? So we can bring them in like that. And then there's a hinge. You can hear them clicking. So we do also have the Revoltech joint for the elbow as well. Fantastic range of movement. Not easy to break. Nice swiveling around. Then we do have the Revoltech joint for the wrist as well. Something about both Venom and Carnage is that it seems like a lot of these joints, for the first time that I'm moving them around, they had to be woken up first, so they didn't want to move. All right, they moved, and now they move just fine enough. Okay? Now, the cool thing about Venom, if you haven't noticed it already, is that he has articulated fingers. They are on hinges. Now, the way that it works, though, is that the thumb is on a hinge. The index finger and the middle finger are on hinges, right? And the ring finger and the pinky finger are sculpted together, and they are on a hinge. So there is that. So yeah, something to keep in mind. You can get some fun stuff out of that. Now comes the not so fun torso articulation, right? So we have an ab crunch, which is a Revoltech joint, which whoa, hello, hi. So that's pretty insane. But the thing is that Venom is so large that any friction that sort of helps with that swivel that is right there for this part of the Revoltech joint, it's moot. So he's just so large that he's just going to keep swaying from side to side. So you really have to either use a stand or just be very careful with the way that you're posing him. So, yeah, we do get the crunch there. Do we have anything really at the waist? Well, the Revoltech joint plugs in there, so kind of, sort of, not really. Next up, we do have something interesting at the hips, which kind of works, kind of doesn't. We don't really have anything other than swivels here. We have the old V-cut style, right? So that's actually where the hips are at, so right here. And then at the thighs, we have another V-cut. So this way, Venom's legs can go out. I think this just might be a preventative measure over time, because like a ball joint might get loose. But that's really weird. Because, yeah, I don't know. That's a very weird way to do the articulation. But we can get basically all the movement we would need out of them. But it kind of doesn't work because some people say they can't get the range of movement. I'm perfectly fine with them. Knees, they're actually just on a hinge. Technically, it's a swivel, but it's a hinge. We'll go with that. So this way, you can get them to go straight back like that. Basically, it's a double hinge. We do get the Revoltech joint for the ankle. Perfect ankle rocker movement. And then we get a toe hinge. So overall, for Venom's articulation, I mean, it is pretty insane. We can get a lot of fun movement out of this guy, right? I mean, you can't get a domestic figure to do this kind of stuff. Okay, you just can't. But at the same time, he's kind of bobbly wobbly. So A+ for the effort in the engineering. For the actual execution, Venom is just so top heavy that unfortunately, maybe it wasn't the best choice here. Probably should have stuck with the tried and true method. Now we're going to move on over to accessories, and Venom, well, unfortunately, he comes with just the right amount to qualify as good, but at the same time, it kind of makes you want more, especially when you take a look at what Carnage comes with. So for Venom here, we do get one alternate headpiece, so this way it makes his eyes look a bit different. We do get the tongue, we do obviously get a support stand that's very easy to use, and then we get two different symbiote attachment parts for Venom's back, which those are the most complicated things to take a look at, so we'll take a look at that in a second. So the way that the attachment parts for the head goes is you just simply have to remove the part on his head where his eyes would be. It's kind of like a baseball cap, if you will. It's kind of like a helmet. You just remove that. Yours might be a pain to remove it for the first time. Mine was, and once you do that, it gets super loosey-goosey. But basically, this additional head part makes it look like Venom is giving you the people's eyebrow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Next up, we do have the tongue, which is technically an accessory because it is not attached to Venom in the box, despite the fact that it is super iconic, and I don't know who would display Venom without it. But anyway, it's just on a Revoltech joint, and it pops right into the mouth. Super nicely detailed. It actually does kind of look bloody, which is very, very cool. Now let's go ahead and talk about those symbiote attachment parts, which, I mean, I guess you can just go ahead and call them tentacles if you want. But anyway, we get one of them, which just has the Revoltech joint that plugs into Venom's back at the base, and then we have another joint where it meets up in the middle. This one kind of looks like a hook. Then we do have another one which does have a similar construction to it, but it has a smaller hook on it. The one that has the larger hook also has a hole in it, so this way you can combine other attachment parts together, other Revoltech joints, and you can make huge combinations of symbiote attachment parts to make it look like Venom is going berserk and taking out some enemies. Now, the cool part here is, like I've shown you so far, when it's attacking Gypsy Avenger, you can actually swap out Venom's arms for these attachment parts, which is really cool. Now, I can't really show you all the different combinations because it would be impossible. I would be here all day doing all the different poses and all the different pictures. So if you just wanted Venom to attack someone over to his left-hand side, you can do that. Or if you just wanted Venom to maybe launch out some symbiotes from his back to attack, or launch out some tentacles. I'm sorry, Marvel fanboys who are going to get me on that one. You can do that as well. Essentially, your display is only going to be limited to your imagination. Now, there's one other thing that I didn't mention that when it comes to the accessories is that Venom also does come with an extra Revoltech joint that is double jointed. This is a replacement joint in case you happen to break one of your joints or if you just wanted extra articulation for one other part. Now, something that I didn't make mention of also is the stand. I didn't really show you how to use that just because it's super easy. There is a support claw. You just use that to support Venom. You just plug it into one of the holes on his back. So anyway, like I said before, Venom pretty much comes with everything that you would absolutely need to display Venom. But I'm going to be honest with you here. I would really love to get more of those symbiote parts. And of course, some effect parts improve Venom's display. Need some of those? Check out the card popping up in the top right-hand corner of the screen, so this way we can hook you up with some of those effect parts. Now we're going to move right along to the end of this review with a nice size comparison with some other figures you just might have. And I do have to say that I am sorry, Marvel fans, but I am not really a big Marvel fanboy here. I really only have this Venom figure and the amazing Yamaguchi Carnage, so hopefully this size comparison still gets the point across. Venom is large. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. I do think that Venom looks really fantastic with very subtle paint application. You have to be up close and personal to see. The articulation is definitely, well, choicey and testy, to say the words. They really did try to do something really special here, something different, and the engineering really didn't stick to this body style, but the accessories are pretty neat, I do have to say. To be honest with you, I do understand where the frustration comes with this Venom figure. He's really top heavy and he's always bobbling and twisting and turning when you don't want him to be, so all of the complaints that people have had with this figure and the joints are completely valid. However, at the end of the day, I do think that this is a fun figure that you can get a lot of neat poses out of and you can take a lot of cool pictures. But you're going to be paying about $85 for him today. And I would have to say, this is only for those who absolutely love Venom and need him in this format. If you don't, maybe you can find an acceptable Marvel Legends alternative, which is going to be much more wallet friendly. So, yeah, maybe this symbiote won't be bonding with your wallet. Well, folks, that's the end of this review. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow me on social media to catch more behind-the-scenes shenanigans and updates. The end card should be popping up now with more hand-selected STR goodness for you to watch, so check out some of those videos. Be sure to check the description, too, to see where you can buy this figure or others like it, and some cool links, like the credits for this video, and other ways you can help out the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.